This video is recorded to help my students to understand how to use Excel to estimate a population proportion. Let's use this example. 829 adult Minnesotans were surveyed, and 51% of them are opposite to the use of photocopy for issued traffic tickets. Use these survey results. First, find the margin of error E that corresponding to a 95% confidence level. B. Find the 95% confidence interval estimate of the population proportion P, which is how many percent of the whole population opposite to the use of the photocopy for issued traffic ticket. Finally, based on the result, can we safely conclude that the majority of adult Minnesotans opposite use of the photocopy? Okay, so the formula we will use will be margin of error E will equal Z alpha over 2 multiplied square root P hat Q hat divided by N. And then after you calculate the margin of error, you know the confidence interval. The lower limit is P hat minus E, and upper limit is P hat plus E. Okay, we will follow the procedure listed on the bottom of textbook on page 356. So step 1, we need to verify that the conditions are satisfied. There are 3 conditions. First, the sample is a simple random sample. Well, that's true because we random pick up 829 adults to do the survey, right? Second, the condition for the binomial distribution are satisfied. Well, then we need to check 4 conditions. First, the fixed number of trials. Yes, we have 829 trials. Second, the trials are independent. Yes, each person, the first person answer, the second person answer, they don't affect each other, right? They're independent. Third, the trials, there are 2 categories of the outcome. Yes, each person, the answer either opposite to the use of the photocopy or agree to use of the photocopy, right? Only 2 outcomes. And the probability remain constant for each trial. Yes, for each person have 51% chance to opposite and 49% chance to agree with it. So we verify this condition that the condition for the binomial distribution are satisfied. Finally, we did say that at least 5 success. Success means the adult opposite to the use of the photocopy, and 5 failure, which means you have at least 5 people agree to use the photocopy. Now, how can we do that? We can say that we first type n equal 829, then p hat equal 0.51. Those are the conditions given, right? Now we need to calculate q hat. Q hat, pay attention, when you calculate q hat, you use Excel to do the job. Notice the formula is 1 minus the p hat. Since your p hat in the cell G14, so G15, so equal 1 minus G15. I hit indicate, so the q hat is 0.49. Now I calculate the sample size multiply p hat, which will give me, to simply use Excel to do the job, which is G14 multiply G15. The result is 422 greater than or equal to 5. Okay, the condition satisfied. We also need to check if sample size multiply q hat will greater than or equal to 5 or not. So sample size is in G14 multiply q hat in the G16. That's also equal 406.21 greater than or equal to 5. So the last condition satisfied, which means n multiplied p and n multiplied q are both greater than or equal to 5, at least 5. Okay, now we can begin to do the work. In order to do the work, we first need to calculate this value, critical value, right? So in order to do that, we first list the confidence level is 0.95, then the alpha equal 1 minus the confidence level. So since your confidence level 0.95 is in G21, so alpha equal 1 minus G21. Then alpha over 2, if you want, you also can use formula, is G22 divided by 2. Then this Z alpha over 2, which is this value, I can use Excel to do the job. How is this? Normal standard distribution inverse, right? So if you give me a probability, pay attention, this probability is 1 minus 0.025, okay? Which is 1 minus alpha over 2. That's the probability. Well, if you just use alpha over 2, you will get a negative number with the same absolute value. If you understand you didn't use absolute value, you just use alpha over 2 to do the normal inverse also okay. Now, for example, let me type here. I can do equal normal standard distribution inverse, which at probability 0.025. If you do that, you will say you get a negative value with the same absolute value. So you just need to understand that you should use its absolute value, then you will be okay. Now let's calculate the E by using this formula. You just need to simply type in this formula. If you notice how I type this formula, G24, which is your Z alpha over 2, multiply square root, right? Square root of, now G15, which is here, which is P hat, multiply G16, which is here, which is Q hat, divided by G14, which is N. So all of them is inside under the square root. Then I hit Enter K, then calculate the margin of error for me. After that, I begin to use this formula to calculate the upper limit of the confidence interval. If you look at it, double click on the cell, you will say my upper limit is the P hat, which is in G15, plus margin of error, which is in G26. I hit Enter K. Then for here, if I double click, see the formula is G hat, which is in G15, minus margin of error, which is in G26. So we say the confidence interval will be, if you want to type it, is from 0.47597 to 0.54403. Okay, that's your confidence interval. Okay, now after you have this confidence interval, what can you say about the result? Well, here is our conclusion. Based on the survey result, we are 95% confident that the limit of 47.6 and 54.4% contain the true percentage of the dot Minnesotans opposite to the photocopy. Now pay attention, which means the true percentage will be in this interval. The percentage of opposite dot Minnesota is likely to be any value between those two values inside this confidence interval. However, a majority require percentage greater than 50. Not that like every value in this confidence interval is greater than 50%. So we cannot safely conclude that the majority is opposite because the entire confidence interval is not greater than 50%. Okay? If you have any questions, please send me email. See you next time.